Philadelphia's Lloyd Free came off Gene Shue's bench Friday night and hit 9 out of 13 shots. Meanwhile, Boston's Dave Cowens fouled out with more than 7 minutes to play. It means that coming into today's game, the Celtics trail the 76ers 2-1.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by the totally new Chevrolet. Now that's more like it. Goodyear, makers of the American Eagle Radial, a new kind of tire built especially for the American road. And by Ryder Truck Rental, the best truck money can rent.
Welcome to the House of Mystique. And the Boston Celtics will need all of the tradition they can call upon today. A sellout crowd in the Boston Garden, and the Celtics are under fire from the Philadelphia 76ers. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brad Musburger, pleased to be with Billy Cunningham. Billy, while I was watching Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I guess Lloyd Free did a job against the Celtics.
Well, Lloyd Free said to himself, he said, listen, I'm not going to worry about what Brent Musburger and Bill Cunningham say about my play or the press. I'm just going to go out and play my game. And that's what he did in the third game. He went out there in a 15-minute stretch. He scored 20 points and dominated the offense.
Billy, you've been here before. The Boston Garden, the tradition, the Auerbach years. What does it mean?
It means quite a bit. And you cannot count the Celtics out. The people in Boston are a little down on their team right now, but you know the Celtics are going to be there. The big key, can they get out of the starting blocks? They've been very slow getting off in the game so far.
Well, I think we should check the starting lineups and see who Tommy Heinsohn will put out there today to get off to an early start. Rowe, Cowan, Scott, White, and Havlicek against Irving Jones, Bibby, Collins, and McGinnis. Gene Shue in the Philadelphia 76ers with a 2-1 lead. Game 4 here. Shue with the spiral notebook and all of those notes he was writing down prior to the start of the game. The officials, Joe Crawford and Rich Jackson, we've had them before. Dick Schaefer is the alternate. Listen to the crowd in the Garden.
The only change we're going to see for the Celtics early in the game is they're going to apply a little more pressure on Henry, Bibby, and Collins in the backcourt defensively. And offensively, they'll try to go down low to Cowens, not allowing Caldwell Jones to block the shots.
There he is low right there, Billy, and the first foul of the game. Caldwell Jones, who has played a magnificent series so far. He has blocked 13 shots in 3 games. He picks up the game's first foul, and the big redhead comes to the free throw line. You could hear Gene Shue complaining about the call. He also feels he's going to stay up on the officials early in this game.
Well, we have the same officials we had last week, and both coaches will try the same game plan. They'll try and intimidate these new officials, but last week we saw them, they showed a lot of confidence and poise, and they did not allow the coaches to intimidate them.
The Celtics have hit better than 80% at the line. Cowan settles for 50%. Celtics out with the first point. Doubleheader game on CBS will be coming up right after this. Collins maneuvers on Charlie Scott. Whistle was blown. Foul is on Scott, his first. So man-to-man warfare early in the Garden.
First 3 games have been very physical games. Referees have called it very closely in the Celtics field. This has really hurt them, their style of play.
Tommy Heinsohn told the Celtics, we have got to play our brand of ball. Get better breaks. Get down the court quicker on offense. That, he claims, has been the difference. White cuts around Scott. Bibby on a good switch. Scott outside. McGinnis with control of the defensive glass, and the doctor puts it down. Collins back to McGinnis and screens for him. 76ers with a quick 3-point lead. 37-year-old Havlicek, Cowens, and Cowens has all 3 of the Celtic points.
That's what they haven't been doing, penetrating and looking for the open man. They've been going all the way to the hoop, and Caldwell Jones has been able to block the shots.
Washington playing Cleveland. We'll be checking in with Don Criqui. Following all of the action on CBS this afternoon. McGinnis at the free throw line. 2 quick field goals for Big George.
That has to make Gene Shue feel very happy. George has been a little cold over these first 3 games.
Boyd cuts around. McGinnis got a right hand on it and knocked it away and out of bounds.
That's been a familiar sight so far through this playoff. Blocked shots. The 76ers have blocked 28 shots in comparison to 8 by the Celtics.
Defensive instructions being yelled. Collins outside. 5 points for the Redheads. Celtics trail Philadelphia by a single point. 10:25 to go in the first quarter. And here comes Henry Bibby against Scott. There's that pressure, Billy. Rowe bumping McGinnis. McGinnis going for his 3rd field goal. Missed everything that time. Outlet Collins. The doctor is there. Got a hand on it. Now the 76ers will come back and set up. Havlicek. So Philadelphia turns it back over. Cross court, Curtis Rowe underneath.
Fine pass, fine basket by Curtis Rowe. Here we'll see it again. John Havlicek dribbling with his head up, spots Curtis Rowe. The big play on that basket was Curtis Rowe used the basket to block off Caldwell Jones from blocking the shot.
Billy, I want to make a mistake. I said that Washington is playing Cleveland. Obviously, I was thinking of a year ago when Cleveland was in the playoffs. The Houston Rockets are down there. We'll be checking in on that game.
I'm sure Cleveland wishes they were still playing.
Bill Fitch loved to hear that, right? He said, Brewer, go get me a rebound. Collins inside. The doctor broke the other way, and Havlicek came back in on him. And Havlicek drew an accidental foul, and Hondo is upset.
The reason he's upset, it appeared that Julius just slipped. Here we'll see Collins trying to lob the ball in. Yeah, it looked like Julius just slipped, and the official thought there was a little contact.
McGinnis was driving on Rowe, and Curtis has assessed the personal.
Here we'll see the slow motion. Yeah, there's a little hand check there by Curtis Rowe.
Hey, Richard!
Heinsohn up early. That's going to be a familiar position for both coaches before this one's over. The doctor up. Collins was out on the switch. Outside for the Redhead. He pours in another field goal. Total of 7 points for Collins and 9 for the Celtics.
What this is going to cause is Caldwell Jones to have to come out and play Dave Collins outside.
Debbie. Gene Shue now up. Havlicek threw one up off the side of the glass, went out of bounds, hit last by Philly. Curtis comes back up, popping. Collins on the other side. McGinnis. And again, it was Collins who came over on defense. George went to a left-handed shot. McGinnis got a hand on it, and Havlicek was right there, but it won't go in. Furious pace here early in this game. Havlicek came around and got a hand on it. Now it's the 76ers' turn. Back and forth we yo-yo. Doug Collins knocked away, and there's George McGinnis coming in on Collins. I remember Collins fouled out Friday night with better than 7 minutes to play. So Heinsohn is up again, and we've got a timeout here in the first quarter. And you know who Tommy Heinsohn is glaring at. A referee by the name of Rich Jackson. 7:54 to go in the first.
How complete is Chevy's mid-size Chevelle wagon? Well, there's seating for 6, standard. There's generous concealed storage, standard. Even on the 3-seat models. There's a rugged perimeter frame, full coil suspension, power brakes, automatic transmission, power steering, steel-belted radials, all standard. Then choose the available equipment to make it a wagon that's really you, the midsize Chevelle wagon. See it at America's shopping center for wagons, the Chevrolet Wagon Stop.
Get the color right away and get the color right.
Kodak instant cameras give you pictures that develop in minutes right before your eyes in beautiful color. So hold on to the moments before they get away.
Get the color right away and get the color right. Get the color right.
Kodak instant cameras from less than $54.
For the first time on television, they fought for the world's hottest prize.
They're my Apaches. I run them any way I want to.
Jim Brown and Lee Van Cleef damn the odds of El Condor for $1 billion in gold. They've got nothing to lose and one sexy woman to challenge the whole Mexican army. El Condor on the CBS Wednesday night movies.
They're even calling upon the junior legends here today in the Boston Garden. That's the son of John Havlicek, Chris Havlicek. And Billy, you made an interesting observation about Chris.
Yeah, I'm wondering if John will play with his son, as Gordie Howe has played hockey with his.
Won't be much longer. Havlicek going strong at age 37. And at the free throw line, George McGinnis. Now that is Cowens talking to Jackson, who just said, know what I mean, baby. Welcome those of you who have been watching Washington and Houston here in the Boston Garden. We've got 7:54 left in the first quarter. McGinnis hit that free throw, and so Philadelphia goes up 10-9. Dave Cowens has scored 7 points already for the Celtics. They have possession right now. So all of you are up to date. It has been a furious pace here early. Foul is called by Jackson as Scott came in down the baseline. And it's against Julius Erving. His first of the game. And Billy, we should point out to the audience that has just joined us that both coaches are up on these two young referees.
Right, they're trying to intimidate the officials if at all possible. But we've seen these officials in the last game in Philadelphia last Sunday where they tried this, but the officials kept control of the game and showed who was boss.
Now keep another thing in mind. Philadelphia leads in this series 2-1, and they have opened up big leads in the first quarter of all 3 games, but not here today. We are tied at 10 right now. 7:36 to go. Big doubleheader afternoon on CBS. You'll be going out west for action from both of those games later. Erving up on using the glass that spun out and loose ball against Scott. His second.
That was a good call by the
Look
official.
at Heinsohn.
All Charlie did was just push Henry Bibby, and it was a senseless foul on Charlie's part.
Rich Jackson, the referee. Now, Gene Shue at this point has to be happy because he did not feel he would get the best of it at the free throw line in this game. And he has at least stayed equal, and I would say, Billy, he's had a little of the best of the whistling so far.
So far for the 76ers, no question about that.
Henry Bibby, who has not yet missed a free throw in this playoff series. We're in the 4th game, 10 of 10. He has played a calm, cool, collected series. The kind of basketball John Wooden taught him at UCLA. Havlicek now on the right side. JoJo White. Now, he hasn't shot well the last 2 games.
No, JoJo. Henry Bibby has done an outstanding job against him. He's been 14 for 41 at the field. But JoJo was out before the game. He must have shot for a half an hour, 45 minutes.
At least. Deadlocked at 12, and Collins is short. But there's Bibby. Off to McGinnis. McGinnis muscles in and lays one up. For McGinnis now, he's scored 8 points. So McGinnis and Cowens have been the hot shooters here in the first quarter. White penetrated and dished to Cowens.
That's what they weren't doing earlier in the last 2 games. They were penetrating and continuing to the basket. Bolo Jones was blocking the shots. Now Cowens is flaring out and getting the shots.
6:30 to go, tied at 14. Great play there by Julius Erving.
That was a fine backdoor.
Scott on the drive, drew the foul. First foul against Doug Collins. Charlie at the line.
Now we see Colwell Jones more aware of Dave Cowens, and there was a perfect example. Charlie had the opportunity to go all the way to the basket. Last game here in Boston, Colwell Jones was just clogging that middle and just not allowing anyone to penetrate.
Billy, I imagine it makes a difference because Jones has picked up 2. Gene Shue noticed the same thing you did, and Daryl Dawkins is going to be coming in soon. He was down talking to him. Or is it going to be Catchings first? It's going to be Harvey Catchings. Originally, he went to Dawkins, but he's changed his mind. Now it's Bibby. Collins with his 10th offensive rebound of this series. Coming into this game, Doug Collins had pulled down as many offensive boards as Doug Collins. Here's Harvey Catchings.
Shot by Henry Bibby. Collins fighting for position. Up, drawing the foul. People tend to forget that Doug Collins is nearly 6'7", and he's playing against JoJo's checking him right now, and JoJo's at 6'3". So there's quite a size difference, and Doug realizes if he can get to the offensive boards, if that ball bounces any way but straight to JoJo, he has an opportunity for the rebound.
JoJo gets to the baseline, and Bibby fouled him, says Jackson. I think these 2 young referees are trying to establish early control. It's Jackson and Crawford. They realize the importance of this game. Game 5 scheduled back in Philadelphia. 76ers originally lost the home court advantage, then stormed into Boston and took it back on Friday night, 109-100. Gene Shue wanted tougher defense played by everyone today, and that was the message he delivered prior to the start of the game. Bibby still complaining to Jackson, now walks away. And there's Steve Kaburski out with an injured back, still very painful. 76ers up by a point. We've got 5:39 to go in the first quarter. McGinnis one-hands it. 5 field goals. His best start. Sidney Wicks will be checking in. Very patient.
Very patient. Very close to the 3-second call there.
Goes down for White. Celts back by a point. Havlicek against the doctor. And if Julius has any shortcoming, it's the absence of a key outside shot as Havlicek comes right back.
One thing John is doing against Julius right now, he's forcing him a little farther away from the basket than he'd like to be. And Julius is not able to get to the offensive board.
Let's see if he can alter that a little bit. We saw a great backdoor play with Julius. McGinnis keeping him right there now. 12 points, 6 field goals. Lead seesaws. Celtics trying to get it right back. It's Cowens. They do. Havlicek was back good, waiting for the doctor, not giving the 76ers the easy break. Catchings picks on Rowe. McGinnis misses that time, and White. Curtis was open, and JoJo felt he could not throw it to him in time. White misses underneath. And the ball will go to the 76ers. Going to have a timeout here in the... No, we're not. It's just Sidney Wicks checking in.
The play there by JoJo. JoJo should have been dribbling with his head up. He would have seen Curtis throw and been able to make that easy pass for 2 points.
Really, we've got 4 minutes now in the first quarter. Wicks comes in to try to cool off McGinnis. On the switch, Rose got him this time. Catchings had it and slipped down. And the Philly bench screaming that there was a foul. It'll go to the Celtics. Gene Shue upset.
We will see this again. McGinnis going straight up. No foul on that play.
I think they may have wanted the contact right there, Billy, when Cowens came back over. Don't you feel?
I think so, but the big men, they play their own game.
Love, and he came back down with the stuff.
That's a play Collins and Irving have been executing all year long.
Heinsohn furious.
There's a fine pass. Doctor going up, getting it, making the easy 2 points.
intelligent move, Billy. He didn't try to tap it back in. He realized he was off the mark and off balance, came back down, then jumped back up.
Had complete control.
What a first quarter Cowens is having. 12 points already here in the Boston Garden. Giving 13, 3:24 to go.
It appears that Catchings has instructions from Gene Shue to come in and play very physical against Cowens.
Heavy slips, cutting around Scott. Now it's Collins. Scott gets inside, and there was a whistle. Offensive foul, and there's the Washington-Houston score.
That's Charlie's third foul. That puts quite a bit of pressure on Tommy Heinsohn now this early in the game because the bench of the Celtics has not produced in the fashion he was hoping it would.
Now he's got to keep Havlicek out, I would imagine, rest him, and then get him back in as a guard and rest Charlie Scott, Billy.
That's his only choice.
Irving. And Cowens with another rebound. Midcourt to White. JoJo right side. Celts up by a point. 2:34 to Doctor down on Cowens, and Cowens shut him off. The crowd thought traveling should have been called on the Doctor that time. Julius outside. And they feel that Catchings was over the top. Whistle. We've got a timeout. Catchings can't believe it. So with 2:20 to go in the first quarter, 27-26.
This is the eagle. This is his country. He flies the mountains. He is strong.
The Goodyear American Eagle Radio with Flex 10 cord belts instead of steel. Flex 10 is made from a flexible man-made aramid fiber that's pound for pound stronger than steel. The American Eagle, built for a smooth, comfortable ride.
The tire for America. The American Eagle. The tire.
Introducing one of the most remarkably engineered lawn machines in America, the Toro riding mower. It has a 5-speed transmission and an automotive-type clutch to give you smooth handling, a low center of gravity, and a wide track so you get a stable ride. An optional grass catcher you empty from the seat. In fact, about the only thing missing from Toro's new riding mower is you. Haven't you done without a Toro long enough?
No American car has ever had EPA mileage ratings as high as this car.
Where's Elm Street?
The new Chevy Chevette.
Want to buy some homemade cookies?
43 miles per gallon highway, 31 miles per gallon city.
Where are your restrooms?
Chevy Chevette, America's modern gas mileage champ.
Just want to use your payphone.
It'll drive you happy, unless you own a gas station.
When television was young, a 2-hour special that captures all the wonder and magic of the early days of television. Relive the most unforgettable moments of those golden years when television was young. Thursday at 9, 8 Central.
Another gem.
Pistol Pete Maravich has made the playoffs. No, he's not with Houston or Washington. He's with CBS today, working with Don Criqui. And let's go down for a report now.
Here we are at Landover, Maryland. The Houston Rockets in the red uniform, the Washington Bullets in the white. It has been a game of great contrast. Washington jumped off to a 22-8 lead, and then Houston came back, ran off a string of 12 unanswered points, and now it's a 3-point game, Washington 26-23. Pistol Pete Maravich. We've had some spectacular backcourt play here.
Fantastic. And what is happening, Henderson and Lucas are penetrating to the basket. And this is something that is going to have to be stopped because they're getting the fours open for easy jump shots.
The guards have really controlled the flow of play here. Both teams with guards going to the basket. Lucas, the rookie for Washington. Tom Henderson for the Washington Bullets. Now here's John Lucas, the #1 player drafted in the NBA last season, taking it down low. He's been moving inside and out, dancing with the basketball, and then dishing it off to the big men. Moses Malone has 2 men on him now. Kevin Kunert in the game. A 7-foot center goes to Newland. John Lucas fires up a 20-foot shot. The ball is tipped over to Tom Henderson by Elvin E. It is 26-23 Washington with 32 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Back in Boston, McGinnis at the free throw line, fouled by JoJo White. You missed 2 free throws by Sidney Wicks. So the score 29-26. Fred Saunders, number 20, checks in for Tommy Heinsohn. And also on the floor is Lloyd Free. You see him, number 21. Hit 9 of 13 coming off the bench Friday night. We have had 15 lead changes and 3 ties already in the first quarter. On the turnover, it'll go to Philadelphia. McGinnis is 5 of 9 from the floor, and Cowan's 5 of 5. And Billy, you wondered about Cowan's rebounds, 4 so far.
It appeared he had more.
He's tapped a lot of balls down there, and they probably didn't give him credit for the full rebound as Irving makes an inside move on Saunders.
When you play against someone like Julius Irving, you have to establish a position. You cannot let him penetrate and get to the spot on the floor where he wants you to be, where he wants to be. Because there was a perfect example. All he had to do was just jump, score the 2 points, and get fouled.
Both teams in the penalty. 1:45 to go for the quarter. Julius completes the three-point play, and the 76ers have regained the lead with 1:40 to go. You can see that Hondo Havlicek is back out here working with White in the backcourt. Cowan's at the top of the circle. 6 of 6 from the field in the first quarter.
He's hot as a firecracker right now. And that's smart basketball by Havlicek, though. He's penetrated, created the situation, then just dished off to Cowens for the jumper.
Irving maneuvering again. Sidney Wicks jumped out on the switch. Off Cowan's hand. It was intended for him on the pass. He was in heavy traffic there, Billy.
The Celtics have had quite a few opportunities. They haven't converted on the fast break, but because of sloppy passing and ball handling, Cowan's throwing the long pass, and there's JoJo and missing Rowe that one time on the break.
3 with a miss.
Those are the ones he was hitting in the third game.
Wicks came with the muscle against Julius Irving and at least drew the foul.
Here we'll see Sidney Wicks wide open. The problem right here, lack of communication between Julius Irving and George McGinnis, not picking up their men quickly enough. This is a problem the 76ers have had most of the season, but they've been able to overcome it so far in the playoffs.
Sidney's former team, the Portland Trail Blazers, tied with Denver. Players from both of those teams watching this action. You'll be seeing action from that game later today on CBS as the playoffs heat up. That's the time left in the first period, and the Celts leading by 3.
The 76ers should get a quick shot.
Havlicek with position. Lead pass for Saunders. Harvey catching, and it's goaltending. He came up and pinned it against the glass.
Watch this pass.
Gene Shue signals them one shot from the bench. Celtics up by 5 points.
This first quarter has to give the Celtics a little confidence. The first 3 games they've been behind going into the second period.
Free lost control. The Celtics have got time. Quickly, and the doctor steals it with 5, and hold it. He's turned it over on the travel. 4 seconds, over anxious.
JoJo has plenty of time to just get it in and to somebody they can dribble down the length of the court in that time and get a good shot.
Now they must hurry. Saunders breaks free. A standing ovation for the Celtics at the end of period number 1. And they lead Philadelphia 37-30.
For years, this little dog has stood as the symbol for sound clarity. Sound so clear he could recognize his master's voice coming through a speaker. Today, RCA offers you a CB radio with that same uncompromising dedication to sound clarity. The new RCA 40-channel Copilot, with the kind of advanced electronic engineering you should have for clear CB transmission and reception. How clear?
Breaker, you go sit.
That clear.
Thanks, Al.
You bet.
You know, this badge says a lot about the expert service you get at GM dealers. Ken over there just took a refresher course on GM brake repair. And Bill's machine is built especially to service GM cars. Both Ken and Bill use genuine GM parts. Look, if you own a GM car and want good service and the right parts, take it to your GM dealer. Ask for Mr. Goodwrench. That's us.
Basketball may seem as simple as throwing a ball through a hoop, but it takes a lot of know-how to keep making those shots game after game. I'm Doug Collins with Philadelphia 76ers. It takes know-how to stay healthy, too, and your American Heart Association leads the league in helping all hearts, young and old. You can do your part by helping the American Heart Association with a generous contribution. Remember, we're fighting for your life.
The preceding public service message has been brought to you in cooperation with the National Basketball Association. That's Beth Havlicek. We'll have to sign her up as one of our camera persons, taking a picture of Chris down there, the ball boy. We get back to Philadelphia. Turquoise Irving's going to demand equal time. Now the Celtics get ready to come back to work. Their best first quarter so far of the 4 games. This is the 4th game of the Eastern Conference semifinal series against Philadelphia. And there is Pat Williams, the general manager of the 76ers, and his lovely bride, Jill.
A little concerned.
Maybe he's got to sign the checks tomorrow. That's
I'd be concerned, too, if I was in the position he's in with Philadelphia.
This is some payroll. So a 7-point difference. Irving got behind Havlicek. Collins stepped over and blocked it. Free with a hand. Back-to-back turnovers. Doug Collins gives it up to Julius. Scott comes over on him. Julius off the mark. Oh, Scott was there, intended for Wicks. Offensive board for Wicks. Knocked away by McGinnis.
Watch this help Cowens is giving to Hondo here, going up and blocking this shot. Havlicek had 8 assists in the first period.
Saunders short. So it's McGinnis, Irving, Free, Catchings, and Collins. Welcome those of you who are watching Washington and Houston. Here it's 37-30. Philadelphia with the ball and trailing by 7. Second quarter just underway. Julius Irving with a poor game. They've been all over him so far. And the shot clock goes off. And a standing room crowd comes to its feet in the Garden.
That's the first time in the series the Celtics have been able to do that.
Harvey Catchings goes out and Caldwell Jones comes back in. Caldwell picked up 2 fouls in quarter number 1.
We're seeing Cowens helping everyone out on defense, allowing the 76ers centers just to roam wherever they please.
There's Cowens, Billy, giving it up now to Saunders, who came off Heinsohn's bench. Too much spin on the shot. Lloyd Free was devastating Friday night to Collins. Drives into Scott. So charging is the call.
Collins going to the hoop. This is a big play because if that was called the other way, that would have been the 4th foul on Charlie Scott.
Coach Gene Shue with his team behind by 7, but leading in this series 2 victories to 1. Game 5, Wednesday night, back on the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Jones hand-checking Cowens' jump hook. Dave Cowens has been unbelievable. 17 points already for the game.
Dave is dominating at both ends of the court.
He has not missed from the field. Dave Cowens is 7 out of 7 right now. Steve Nixon, Philadelphia, goes over to Gene Shue's huddle. Celtics up by 9. 10-13 left in the first half.
From Maine
to California. You sit atop a rig with 13 forward speeds and 300 horses. And when the run is over, that's when Miller time begins. Time to stretch out and head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, you've got the time. We've got the beer, Miller Beer.
All across Europe, Honda dominates the incredibly demanding long-distance endurance races.
Going strong now.
And the technical leadership Honda gains at those races goes into the bikes you can buy right here.
Moving right along.
Honda, going strong on the track and on the open road.
Going strong now. Moving right along. When you're on a Honda, you're really going strong. Really going strong.
Next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Spectacular presents the Chunichi Cup from Japan with three-time Olympic gold medalist Nadia Comaneci of Romania and other stars competing. The Bluegrass Stakes from Keeneland in Kentucky. And the World Frisbee Championships. That's next Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
Jeff Cohen of the Boston Celtics issued 125 media credentials for this game, the most ever in the history of the NBA, they believe. There's Mike Lupica in the blue sweater from the New York Daily News, Sam Goldapper from the New York Times. So an institution and one of the younger writers and a lot of other folks on hand. Here is McGinnis. Saunders watching him. George backs in. McGinnis maneuvering. Muscles his way in, and there was a whistle underneath. It's on Saunders, and that is his second.
Saunders just never established position against McGinnis, and McGinnis, realizing this, just kept taking it to the basket as close as he possibly could get.
Billy, Washington and Houston tied at a game apiece. We'll be keeping you up to date. And then, of course, the doubleheader game coming up. Los Angeles and Golden State. Can Abdul-Jabbar do it again? And Portland, Denver. How about that series?
I'm sure Pistol is a little upset not being in the playoffs and a little nervous doing the game up there, because I'm sure he'd be rather playing in the playoffs for the New Orleans.
Celtics turn it over, and you wonder just a little bit about Charlie Scott's left arm, if maybe it's still a bit weaker. Broke it back in February, missed 38 games. Knicks wheels, good ball movement inside to Free, and Wicks and Free will jump. And Shue wanted a foul. Scott got a blow here in the facial area.
Let's see if we can see how Charlie gets hit in the mouth here. They're isolating on him, realizing if they can get him out of the game and get his fourth foul. He got hit with an elbow right in the mouth. That'll force Havlicek into the backcourt and won't give any rest to any of the Celtics.
White comes up on Free, and Free fouled him. 9:33 to go here in the half. And at halftime, Jimmy the Greek with a report on Gene Bartow, the UCLA basketball coach. You know, every year that Shue has been coaching Philadelphia, I think he has added to that playbook.
What Gene does before the game is he figures what plays he feel will work against the Celtics for this game. And he writes them down, and he gets involved in the game and realizes it's a lot easier for him if he writes them down and he just refers to them once in a while.
Billy, Philadelphia, one of 3 teams this year in the NBA to win at least 50 games. Denver also 50. Julius Erving gets a breather, and of course Los Angeles won the most, 53. And do they look devastating behind the big guy?
Finest performance I've seen all year.
Cross court now to Free. Free comes in on Wicks, and Sidney was there, and a foul is called.
Now watch how Lloyd Free will hang in the air and create the contact. Holding the ball there, fine play. He caused that foul.
And you know who Heinz is yelling at. I am going to be the most surprised man in this ballpark if we don't get a couple of technicals before this is over. White underneath, and Free was right there, and Paul Will Jones came back to help out.
something wrong with the 76ers tonight. They're not very alert. Now here's Lloyd Free, shoots the foul shot, and he has to be back to block this shot. Lack of communication.
And another whistle. We had 17 fouls in the first quarter in this game.
The officials are very concerned in a game like this that they would lose control, so they call it a little tighter early in the game, and then they let the players start playing a little looser.
That was the first against McGinnis as Scott is short. And Wicks underneath with an offensive rebound and a basket.
That's something the Celtics haven't been doing the last 3 games, getting to the offensive board, and they've been getting there today.
10-point difference at 8:48 for the half. 3. Havlicek will take the baseline. Caldwell Jones outlet. Collins, back to Collins. Let's go down now and hear from Don Criqui.
Here at Landover, Maryland, the Washington Bullets in the white uniform are holding to a 6-point lead over the Houston Rockets dressed in red. We welcome our Boston, Philadelphia viewers. This is Don Criqui with Pistol Pete Maravich. And this game has gotten very, very physical. It's been a shoving match early, and now people are starting to hit the floor like Golden Glovers.
As I said earlier, Don, the officials are going to have to take control of this basketball game. If they don't, somebody's going to get hurt. At this particular point, there's too much shoving. There's really not been that much blocking out. It's just been pushing the other guy out of the way, and this has become a street basketball game.
Washington with the ball in the white uniforms. That was Rudy Tomjanovich who hit the last shot to make it a 38-34 game. Washington led at the outset by 14 points, 22-8. And then Houston came back with a running game of Lucas and Calvin Murphy. And now here's a foul called underneath as rookie Mitch Kupchak, who has added a great dimension to this Washington team, the first-year player of North Carolina, goes
There's
to the basket.
Kupchak going up for the layup. Moses gets a good block, but he was on him with his body, and that's what the official call was body.
It is 38-34, Washington, 5:49 to play in the first half.
John Havlicek leaving to an ovation here in the first half. Assistant coach John Killalay sitting there on Tommy Heinsohn's bench. 45-35. Celtics with a lead. McGinnis with a one-on-one play. And it's Bibby. Scott almost lost the dribble. Right side for White.
The Celtics have had some great shots and haven't been able to convert them. The 76ers are scrambling defensively. They're not getting back and picking up their man.
Rowe leaning against McGinnis. George slid by him that time. Jones came back up. Dave Cowens was there with a foot foul, I think. That looks like the karate championship.
A foot to the mouth. Cowens going up for the boards. There it is. Oh.
That's a teeth full of tennis shoe.
I can't imagine what David is crying about on that one.
Neither team yet in the penalty. It's 6:53, so it's an out-of-bounds play. Steve Mix gave the inbounds pass to Bibby. So we got 6:50 left in the first half. White there on Bibby. So now that's 4 team fouls against the Celtics. 2 against White at the limit. Mix drove into Cowens, came away with a shot. Outlet Cowens, Bibby is there. And the doctor is back in the game. And he has not scored well for the outside.
Davis has got to take a better look before throwing that outlet pass. He's working, and the Celtics are working so hard defensively, and then to make an outlet pass like that, just bad basketball.
Marvelous first half for Dave Cowens. Yet to miss from the field. So a timeout here in the Boston Garden. 6:28, 45-37.
Harry, this Chevelle costs less than our little compact.
$38.85? And this is a mid-size Chevrolet.
See?
Huh? My compact costs more. Hey, look at this.
Hey, that's some price for a neat-looking mid-size.
Gee, I paid more for my compact.
So did I.
Me too.
Surprise America, the smart, complete midsize Chevelle. It's priced lower than 34 compacts.
$38.85, Harry. $38.85.
For typing 4,280 letters. For filing 72 pounds of memoranda. For booking 247 flights. For making 502 appointments and breaking 124 gracefully. And for saving the face of the boss on countless occasions. It is only fitting that during National Secretaries Week, we present you with this floral tribute. Show your secretary some appreciation. Make an arrangement with your florist.
You're the guy that sells Delco Big D shock absorbers?
Right.
Good. I got big problems. Everyone's complaining. I need big shock for the entire circus. Can you do it?
Well...
Good. We'll help.
AC Delco has extra capacity Delco Big D shocks for just about anything, from small cars to light trucks, plus Big D heavy duty and air shock systems for the really big jobs. AC Delco has Big D shocks for everything on the road.
Well, almost everything.
This Friday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports presents NBA playoff action. Followed on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. with a playoff doubleheader. That's NBA playoff action, Friday night at 11:30 p.m. and a doubleheader on Sunday, tipping off at 1:30 p.m. Eastern.
Referee Joe Crawford is the son of Major League Baseball umpire Shag Crawford. He and his partner Rich Jackson have been extremely busy. 25 fouls called already. 6 minutes and 28 seconds left until the end of the first half. Celts up 45-37. Collins has not yet missed from the field, and Bibby picked him clean. There's an update. Washington with a burst now, leading Houston 44-36. 3 with a miss. And Collins, 7 rebounds already. Collins still perfect.
What's happening? The 76ers, they're not getting back well on defense, and Caldwell Jones is helping out defensively, and no one's helping him out. And all Cowens does is come down, spot up, yell for the ball, and it's 2 points.
Knicks maneuvering on Sidney Wicks. And we have the 26th foul call as Doug Collins checks back in. For Wicks, 2 fouls right now. Steve Mix at the line. Next Saturday we'll have a lot of speed coming your way. The Bluegrass on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Sidney Wicks gets an ovation as he goes out.
Big question mark with him this year, playing out his option. Will he be with the Celtics next year? But he's playing with the attitude that he'll be here next year.
There was a lot of talk about Sidney Wicks and the Los Angeles Lakers. When I was out there over the weekend, it seemed to me as though some of the interest in Sidney has disappeared from that franchise.
214.
Scott.
Perfect execution.
Scott awaits Collins. Row on Mix. Off Collins' hands on the turnover to the 76ers. Celtics up by 10. Gene Shue and Jack McMahon with their work cut out. George McGinnis will be checking back in. White glided in but missed. Nice pass from Collins. foul 27.
Watch this bounce pass by Julius. Fine pass. That was a tough call on John. He just had good position, and Collins hit him with his leg and lost control. McGinnis has had a little controversial press the last week. Some people questioning that because he's not having a good playoff up to this point. But George is surely having an outstanding game in today's game.
It's tough for a couple of individual superstars like McGinnis and Irving to show their full talents when they're out there together, and that's a problem you could face on any team.
Because they are dominating players, and to be a dominating player, you have to have the ball in your hands.
Scott missed on the driving lane. Celtics are getting to the hoop much more often than they have earlier in this series. Irving pulled up on Rowe and hit the shot.
Not many players in basketball can do that.
Timeout is called, and Heinsohn's criticizing referee Joe Crawford. McGinnis was looking back. There's Heinsohn yelling at him. 4:22 left in the half.
Your feet take an incredible beating. Just running up the stairs, you put a force of up to 400 pounds per square inch on them. That's why we make Dr. Scholl's air pillow insoles out of soft latex foam. Thousands of tiny air bubbles absorb the shock to keep you going strong, cool, and comfortable, even if you're on your feet all day. So instead of walking on hard ground, you walk on soft cushions. Dr. Scholl's air pillow insoles, shock absorbers for the feet.
This is Concours, a world-class luxury compact from Chevrolet, in Europe to show that an American car can challenge the highways of the world. Concours is an affordable car for people who appreciate the stylish elegance of fine touring cars, luxurious interiors, and dependable Chevrolet engineering. Concours, built for Americans at home anywhere. A world-class luxury compact from Chevrolet.
Changing to Cam 2 motor oil's like falling in love.
A running and a racing to make it the best. Cam 2. Stock cars, Indy cars, and all the rest. Cam 2. Change your own to Cam 2 alone. It's tough. You'll love it. Cam 2.
Hey, if Roger Penske is willing to risk a $100,000 car in $1 million race on Cam 2, I'm with him.
Cam 2. You know it's tough, and you love it.
For the first time on television, they fought for the world's hottest prize.
They're my Apaches. I run them any way I want to.
Jim Brown and Lee Van Cleef damn the odds of El Condor for $1 billion in gold. They've got nothing to lose and one sexy woman to challenge the whole Mexican army. El Condor on the CBS Wednesday night movies.
And this game is being seen locally in Boston because of the sellout here in the Boston Garden. It's been a noisy, enthusiastic, helpful crowd for the Celtics. They lead at 49-43.
Heinsohn has to be pleased and also a little dissatisfied with the play of the Celtics. They've had the opportunity to have built up a much larger lead than they have now with the good shots they've had and haven't been able to convert.
White on the drive. Made that look easy, and they are really getting inside much more often than they have in the first 3 games.
That's the reason they're getting to the offensive board so much better today.
Collins from the perimeter hits, but you can see the difference so far in the 2 games. The layups for the Celtics, the perimeter shots for the 76ers. White. Quick 2 field goals for JoJo. 14 points for number 10, last year's most valuable player in the championship series.
Right now, the 76ers are using a 3-forward offense. George McGinnis playing against Dave Collins.
Same spot, 2 in a row.
That's 14 points for Collins.
3:05 for the half. Hundo. Collins was alone at the other side of the glass.
The person that made that play for John was Charlie Scott with the excellent pick. Here we'll see the pick there by Charlie Scott for John to go to the hoop, and there's Cowens with an unmolested 2 points.
Now let's go to Boston Garden and Brent Musburger.
With the lead here in the Boston Garden. Havlicek makes it 57-47, 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. The story has been Dave Cowens. Perfect so far from the floor, and as a matter of fact, Gene Shue now has gone to a 3-forward attack. Here's one of the three. The 76ers have been shooting at the perimeter the last minute and a half. Havlicek, left side. So you folks have been watching Washington and Houston. The story here is that the Celtics are off to the best start they've had in the 4-game series. Listen to the crowd here.
The 76ers are going to have to pull themselves together. It appears that they've become complacent after pulling out and having a 2-1 advantage in the Celtics in the series. For some reason, they didn't seem to come out with the intensity that they've had in the last 3 games, even though they lost the first game. So they're going to have to pull themselves together.
I imagine Daryl Dawkins will get to see some more action in the second half, Billy.
I'm surprised we haven't seen.
Dan, look who's there.
Oh, my goodness.
This greatness transferred from basketball to something like baton twirling. What are you trying to do to me? This is a basketball show.
Well, twirling goes along with basketball for me, as far as dexterity is concerned.
Is that right?
Yes.
Does it work with your fingers?
Yes, it's giving me great finger control with the baton, along with controlling the basketball with my fingers.
Now, Calvin Murphy, being one of the smallest, if not the smallest guard ever to be so great in the NBA, there are 2 sides to this. We've discussed this many times. The bigger guys get you, they take you in the pivot, they try to muscle you. You're strong, you're quick, they don't fool around. But there's 2 sides to it. You're little, you're close to the ground, they got to get you. And that's where that dexterity comes in.
No question about it. If you can hold this, and if we can just change for a second. First of all, because of my fingertip control, I feel that I have the advantage on the larger individual. He has to come down to 5'9" size if he wants the ball.
Yeah, like if I'm 6'4", so I got to come down here. That makes me off balance.
All right, now I have the advantage. I know what I'm going to do with the ball. I can control it. He's out of sync with his body. He cannot move the way I can because of my size.
That's right. I'm too tall, and I've got to bend down to your size.
Right, I'm already down here, so I have the advantage.
You see, what we're trying to say is, all you people out there, and you youngsters, 5'8", 5'9", 5'7", don't give excuses that you're too small. If you can work at it, pay the price, and do the job, always remember, you're close to the ground. The ball is on the floor here. You can keep bouncing that ball. He's got to come down to you. So remember that. All right, Calvin, let's see a few dexterity drills. Ridiculous. All right, now how does that relate if you're going to twirl the baton?
Well, I'm dribbling with my fingers here.
Watch this, watch this. He doesn't even have to watch anything. He's looking at the camera. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that control. This has played a part in that. I remember Calvin Murphy when he was young, and he always could work with that baton and work with that ball, and you kept up both.
Yes, and one helped the other.
And I want to congratulate you because you've had and you're still having a great career. And let this be a lesson. Don't use your size as an excuse. Pay the price, work hard, and if you got it in you, you could be a great athlete and a great player. Thank you, Calvin.
Wave to your fans over there, Billy.
Hi, Mom.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
John Wayne and Richard Widmark star in a spectacular production of The Alamo, tonight at 8, 7 Central on CBS.
Our favorite Greek on this Sunday is poring over computerized draft lists with the NFL draft coming up on Tuesday. Now, I know Ricky Bell is going to Tampa. What about Seattle?
They say that they're going to overlook Dorsett unless they make a trade in some way. Supposedly, they're going to go for a defensive man, which means that leaves the draft choice open for Cincinnati. They want a defensive man. So all of a sudden, Dorsett is going to be available for the New York Jets, and the New York press will go crazy.
They need someone to replace Broadway Joe. Listen, Art Modell, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, is talking about purchasing the Cleveland Indians. Why does he need the Indians?
He needs them because of that big stadium, and he can't support that stadium with just the Cleveland Browns. So consequently, he needs the concessions and the things from the Cleveland Indians. But there is a problem. Will the NFL, or Rozelle, let him own a piece of a baseball club?
There are rules in the NFL that prohibit owners from also controlling other sports teams?
Right. But in the meantime, Jack Ken Cook has something. Mr. Hunt has something, and so has Robbie got outside interest. So I really don't understand how that rule exists.
Jimmy, you've been walking around with stopwatches this week. Must mean the Kentucky Derby. What do you hear about favored Seattle Slew?
Oh, Seattle Slew and the rumor that he's losing weight, forget about it, because I talked to Ruby and Johnson down there this morning, and they told me that Seattle Slew worked 1 mile in 41 and 2, nice and easy, and he's all ready. Steinbrenner, by the way, who owns the Yankees, shipped Steve's friend from over the West Coast, to run, so he'll forget about his problems with the Yankees, the Ellis and Torres trade.
The key thing, though, Jimmy, my last $2. Do I bet it on Seattle Slew?
Brent, I don't know anything about gambling.
Have a nice week, Greek. I'll see you next Sunday. Back here in Philadelphia now, and you know, Billy Cunningham, the most surprising statistic from the first half is the fact that Dave Cowens has scored only 2 points.
It certainly is, and he has been very aggressive on the boards, having 14 rebounds. And the one shot that he did hit was a jumper from the outside. The Celtics in the second half are going to have to get the ball in down low to Dave, make him create some situations and get him motivated on the offense.
Well, let's take a look now at some of the scoring here in the first half. We have already given you Dave Cowens, JoJo White with the hot hand. Havlicek had some problems in the early going. Scott was 6, and there we see Dave Cowens, of course, with the blinking 2. As for Philadelphia, Lloyd Free in the second quarter ignited this team. Irving, Collins, McGinnis, each with 8. Mix Bibby with 4, Jones and Dawkins. And now, Billy, how about the team stats?
Well, one thing that I've noticed is the 76ers have shot better on the free throw line than they have in any game so far in this series. Rebounding, if you just looked at the rebounding, you would have to figure Boston has to be winning, having that advantage. And if they continue that rebounding, the Celtics are going to be back in this ball game very quickly.
A little more depth on the part of Gene Shue's team, but of course, we knew that coming out. Thank you very much. We've just been handed the official stats. Now we'll see if your version's accurate.
Well, very rarely is it. But the key of the game, the Celtics getting going offensively, the 76ers continuing running.
Okay, Billy, we'll be right back. We're still at halftime in Philadelphia.
We played great as a team.
I operated the offense.
And I directed the defense.
And now we both drink light beer from Miller.
Not just because it tastes great, but also because it's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. It's less filling.
Hey, bartender, 2 more lights here. What's it all mean, Casey?
Simple, Sam.
If you want to keep up with the Joneses,
You better drink light beer.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Doug Collins.
What a difference a day makes. Lloyd Frey having an outstanding ball game offensively. The last game, hitting 22 points today, hasn't had a field goal. Dave Cowens fouls out of the game. Just has a fair game, I would say, for Dave. Here he is, just dominating the game.
Collins, the only 76er to score so far. Julius on the turnover. Bounced right back to him, and he was fouled. JoJo White was underneath.
Julius is very upset. He felt he got fouled on the initial shot. Here we'll see Julius going up in the air. Oh, JoJo hit him right on the leg there. And then the foul.
Sidney Wicks with 5 fouls comes back in, and 8:17 left. Nix motioning Caldwell Jones into the backcourt. He comes up.
76 is a zone press now. Caldwell Jones back there. They'll try and pin the ball in the corners and pick off an easy long pass. Now the Celtics will have an opportunity to fast break against this, and if they do, they can get some easy shots. So it's a gambling style of defense.
Well, let's see what they come up with, Billy. Here's Hondo with control. Don't forget next, Golden State, Los Angeles, Portland, Denver. Inside pass, 2 more for Cowens, 31 points. He has not taken a rest yet. 14-point Celtic lead, 7:50 to play. Heinsohn yelling at referee Jackson. Turnaround mix.
That's his spot on the court.
Houston to Washington, 89-86. Washington leading by 3 in the 4th. Cowens runs down White's miss. A couple of minutes left in Landover, I'm told. White. Here we've got 7:15 left.
Well, you've seen 2 great performances by centers. Friday night, Jabbar, and today, Dave Cowens.
Inside by the Dr. Billy, you are so right. But I like to see those 2 go at it on those 2 days. Havlicek rolled up the left-hander. Wicks was there. Jones came back on him and fouled him.
The Doctor making a move to the basket, up the finger roll. Fine move.
Timeout. Boston Garden. 6:59. Celtics lead it.
We played great as a team.
I operated the offense.
And I directed the defense.
And now we both drink light beer from Miller.
Not just because it tastes great, but also because it's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. It's less filling.
Hey, bartender, 2 more lights here. What's it all mean, Casey?
Simple, Sam.
If you want to keep up with the Joneses,
you better drink light beer.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
This is my first car. Where do I get good auto service without a hassle?
Don't you know there's good news round the corner? Goodyear, wherever you are. Goodyear, good and close to home.
Presenting the Goodyear promise for hassle-free auto service. We do professional work. We only do the work you authorize. We return worn-out parts for your inspection. No hassle, no problems, no fooling.
Goodyear tires and Goodyear service for more Goodyears in your car.
Houston and Washington, even at a game apiece, coming down the stretch. Let's go down to Don Criqui and Pete Maravich for an update.
All right, we want to welcome those of you who've been watching the Philadelphia-Boston game as you join us now for an update here at Landover, Maryland. We have 1:32 left to go. We're heading into the final furlong of this 3rd game of the Washington-Houston series. It has been a dramatic game, a lot of intensity as you'd expect. Moses Malone has been playing the low game. He just threw a 2-shot foul. With both teams over the limit now in the final 2 minutes, Malone will get 3 chances to make 2. He has 15 rebounds in the game. He has scored 15 points, but Washington leads by 2, now by 1.
Houston has committed 2 costly turnovers the last 2 times down the court, but they got the 2 free throws. This is very important for them.
Phil Chenier moving the basketball. Here's Elvin Hayes. He did very little in the first half offensively. He's come very much alive in the last 2 quarters now. Working on Dwight Jones. Elvin Hayes is looking to go to the hoop, and he has called for a travel. And so the ball is back over to the Houston Rockets.
Again, each team is committing costly turnovers, Don. And at this particular point in the game, this game could be decided by 1 shot.
I'll tell you, we got a lot of turnovers. The official stat is Houston has 23 and Washington has 21, and that's how much time remains in the game. And now, most vital possession for Houston. If they hit the shot here, they'll take the lead. 1:05 left to go. Newland, he's been shooting for good percentage, looking to get it up. Inside to Moses Malone. Look at all that. Whoa! He got after it and got all of it.
It was some kind of move there. He went up and told anybody to come and get him, and he put it through the... He got all of it, like you said, Don.
He got every bit. And Houston takes the lead as we're inside 50 seconds. Down low to Elvin Hayes. And Moses Malone, who never played college basketball, right to the pros out of high school, gets the big rebound. Naselke, the Houston coach, up. And he wants his team to come back over and have a little powwow as we find 34 seconds on the game clock.
Big stuff, and a big rebound at the other end. It could be the difference in this game.
So with 34 seconds left in the game, it is 90-89, Houston in the lead.
And now it is 10. Celtics with the ball and the lead. Philadelphia on the move. It'll be 8 as Mix hit it. You missed an outside shot by Collins, and Free hit one. So Boston now clinging to an 8-point lead against Philadelphia. The 76ers rampaging all of a sudden. Cowan's trying to quiet the attack. Inside to Wicks. Wicks hits a big field goal. Back to 10. 5:30. Irving, 8. Time remaining, 5 minutes and 15 seconds here in the Boston Garden.
The pace and tempo have really picked up.
At the perimeter, White. 10 again. 5 minutes to go. Three. And Caldwell Jones foul coming back up. Havlicek was on the other side. His 4th foul.
John felt he had a piece of the ball and not his arm.
Let's go back to Don Criqui now in Landover.
Okay, we welcome you back from the Boston-Philadelphia Network. Don Criqui with Pete Maravich as we are inside 40 seconds to play in the game. 34 seconds to go. Houston by 1, they have the ball. John Lucas, the rookie out of Maryland, playing just a brilliant floor game. A free basketball, and Washington gets the ball as big Wesley Unseld. Mighty Joe Young gets both hands on it, and now Washington calls for a quick timeout as Dick Mata looks at the numbers. 90-89, the score. 28 seconds to go, so if Washington should come down and hit the shot, Pete, they'd have to do it within the allotted 24 seconds, and Houston would still get a chance.
Houston's definitely going to get the last shot in the game. I don't know if Naselke wanted that particular play right there.
28 seconds to go, 90-89, Houston. So Tom Naselke has his men around. How do you like all this television, Pete?
This is amazing, I'll be honest with you.
A lot of people talking here in this game.
Yes, more, I tell you what, it's easier to, I don't know if it's any easier to listen to the fans or listen to the people who are talking in your ear here.
They got some good people, too. Our producer, Bill Barnes, our director, Bob Dunphy. And there's a big NBA game coming up next. Depending on what part of the country you're in, you'll see the Los Angeles Lakers, after taking a commanding 2-0 lead at the Forum in Inglewood, going up now north to Oakland, California to play Game 3 with Golden State. And now we have, as another game today, Denver at Portland. That series is even up after 2 games. 90-89 is the score, a 1-point lead for the Houston Rockets as we have 28 seconds left to play, but Washington will have the ball as we put it back into play. And And, of course, as soon as we're done here, we'll be going back to Boston Garden where Brent Musburger and Bill Cunningham are standing by. You'll see that game finish up down the stretch as the Celtics look like they're in position to take a 2-1 lead.
Houston does not want to commit a foul here, because if they commit a foul, they're going to give them an easy 2 points, whereas Washington has to get a good percentage shot to take the lead and then rely on their defense and the rebounding to win the basketball game.
Right, of course, if Boston holds on to win today, that series would be even at 2 victories apiece. Then they head back to the Spectrum in Philadelphia for Game 5. All right, we're coming down the stretch. 28 seconds to go. Chenier has the ball. They're standing here at the Capitol Center. Chenier driving. The game clock shows 21. Chenier is the game plan now as he drops off. Kupchak is rejected by Malone. There's a foul call on Moses Malone. He thought he got a clean reject, but the official on top of the play says no.
Here's the replay. Chenier penetrates, throws it over to Kupchak. He comes in for the stuff. Malone goes back up with him when he's very quick getting up. A good block, but I think he got him with his foot as he came in. And the foul was called. A very crucial call.
And so Mitch Kupchak, one of the key players in the U.S. Olympic team at Montreal that won the gold medal, goes to the free throw line. Iceman, nothing there at all as he hits his 22nd point of the game. He is the leading producer in the entire ball game, came in the second quarter. The game is tied, and now Washington takes a 1-point lead, 91-90 with 18 seconds left to play, and Houston calls a timeout. What do you do now, Pete? You come down and shoot it up so you have a chance for a follow-up shot, or do you play it right down for a final one?
No, I don't think any team will play it down to the final one. What they'll do is they'll try to get the ball in without committing a turnover, number one. And then what they'll try to do is go over a set play that they're going to run for 1 or 2 individuals, whoever is open on the particular options that they want. Usually either Tomjanovich or Malone down deep. They'll probably try to get it inside, and they will not waste any time. If somebody's got the open hoop, they're going to go ahead and take it.
A big show next Saturday at 4:30 on the CBS Sports Spectacular. 114-105 is the count now at Boston with the Celtics in the lead. You'll see Nadia Comaneci, the great gold medalist from Romania, and Nelly Kim of the Soviet Union in the Chunichi Cup gymnastics event. And also the Bluegrass Stakes from Keeneland Racetrack in Lexington, Kentucky, in addition to the World Frisbee Championships. That's next Saturday at 4:30 on the CBS Sports Spectacular. This is Don Criqui with the pistol. Pete Maravich, the NBA's leading scorer this past season from the New Orleans Jazz, joining CBS for the playoffs. Pete, you got a good one here in your first game.
I tell you, this is playoff intensity right here, Don. It's a little different than the season. Everybody is enthusiastic. The fans are into it. Everybody's involved. And this game, like we said at the beginning of the contest, is going down to the wire. This is the best thing that you can ask for in a playoff game.
The young men are getting after it. They are getting after it here at Capitol Center. And now Tomjanovich inbounds the ball. We have 18 seconds left to play in the game, and Houston, in the red uniforms, is down by a point. 18 seconds to play. Inbounds to Newland. Chenier tight on him. Newland loses him with a fake and a switch hand dribble. Newland is fouled on the... No, they're calling it against Newland. The foul call is on Newland. They rule that Kupchak, who's done so very much for Washington...
There's a play right here. Newland goes in. He penetrates. He leaves his feet here. He goes to the left. But Kupchak was there. It was a good call. He was there. His feet were stationary.
And it was a good call, as you see. Kupchak had position, and now the Rockets call a foul, which they had to do with 7 seconds left to play. 91-90, Washington in the lead. At Boston Garden, the Celtics continue to lead 114-107 over the Philadelphia 76ers. Chenier goes to the free throw line. He is a very, very effective free throw shooter. Throughout the regular season, he hit, as well as most of the good ones in the league, 84%. He can put it away now with a 1-point advantage.
He can put away. There's a great deal of pressure on him right now. And even if he makes one of them, Houston can still score and tie and go into overtime.
Well, he got one, and Mata wants him to call timeout before he takes the second. Got too much going here that we don't want to talk this thing over with just 7 seconds left to play. 7 is all that remains, and now Washington has a 2-point lead, 92-90.
And here it has closed, 114-109. Celtics under pressure. White with a miss. 76ers have snapped back. Scott and Wicks have fouled out. Cross court to Lloyd Free. He puts it away. Now we've got 3 minutes and 18 seconds. 114, 111, and more of the same coming up in the doubleheader game. What an afternoon for the NBA on CBS. Now the Celtics, remember, are without Charlie Scott. They are without Sidney Wicks. Both have fouled out. Dave Cowens has to be tired. Maneuvering. Jump hook on Jones. At the glass. Couldn't get it back, and Curtis Rowe ran it down. Now here's Dave Cowens on the drive. No, says referee Joe Crawford.
That's a good call. McGinnis reaching. Now we'll see McGinnis reaching for the ball. Cowens going by him. And there's the foul way before the shot. That's a good call by the official, not being intimidated by the fans.
Tommy Heinsohn and John Killalay have been furious while you're away. Now it's Gene Shue's turn. Let's go to Don Crickey in Landover.
4, right?
And again, we welcome back our Boston-Philadelphia viewers as we have 7 seconds left to play here at the Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland. Phil Chenier at the free throw line. He just hit his first one. The penalty shot is coming up. And if he gets it, it would be a 3-point advantage for Washington. They in all probability would win the game. That's what it is. 3 points as John Lucas sprints down the court. He'll take it right to the basket. Does not go. Contact rebound. And Washington will win game 3. Washington wins game 3, 93-90. Don Crickey with Pistol Pete Maravich, and that is the final number here at the Capitol Center. Now let's go back to Brent Musburger and Billy Cunningham at Boston Garden.
Yes. So Washington takes a 2-1 lead, and here things have quieted down momentarily. 2:36 to go, but Billy, we should go back now and relate some of the incidents that happened while the folks were watching that great game between Washington and Houston. First, we had Charlie Scott foul out, and that just picked everybody up on that Philadelphia team. Free came down and hit a field goal. Doug Collins, well, he added another one. Then we had a play that is going to go down as the most controversial in the game. Caldwell Jones came over on what appeared to be a very clean block, but they called it goaltending, and it made it 112-105 with 4:25 to go. McGinnis came back and made it 114-107 at 3:45. Then you rejoined us, and then while you were away to see the conclusion of Washington-Houston, Tommy Boswell got inside for a layup. So now we have 2 minutes and 36 seconds left right here. It is 116-111. Billy, what have you got on the timeouts and some of the scoring already as we see what's ahead of us next? Golden State, L.A., and Denver, of course, coming up in their meeting against Portland.
A big factor, Brent. Philadelphia has 1 timeout left. Boston has 3. And this play was excellent ball movement by the Celtics, allowing Boswell to get the easy 2 points. Right now, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Boswell at the other end of the court. With McGinnis having a fine game today, I would imagine they'll go in low to him and let him work on Boswell.
There are the scores. Scott and Wicks out. 6 fouls apiece.
One thing this pressure defense the 76ers have applied the full court, it has taken Dave Cowens more or less out of the game offensively. They haven't been able to get him the ball in the position he'd like. He's a little too far out of the court. That's really hurt the Celtics up to this point.
That was a good picture from our director, Sandy Grossman, who's done his usual splendid job. Our producer, Chuck Milton, as we come down the stretch in the Boston Garden. And we've got one brewing. Collins outside.
That's 6 fouls on Curtis Rowe.
And Heinsohn's going back over to the left-hand side.
I think he went to get his uniform on. He needs one more forward desperately right now.
Let's double check Rowe. He's staying out. The desk seems to be confused. Apparently somebody's got him for 5, somebody else for 6. There's 6 being held up over there. He's got to go. So there was confusion over there momentarily, but it's been straightened out. And Shue says, how can you leave him out there while we're shooting free throws? Now he wants to talk to Doug Collins. A 4-point difference right now, and 2:25 left. On the floor for Philadelphia, you've got Caldwell Jones. You're looking at Lloyd Free, Doug Collins, and the 2 millionaires, George McGinnis and Julius Erving. Now for Boston, who've lost 3 men. Havlicek and Cowan, White, Saunders, and Boswell. The pressure's on Saunders and Boswell. 2:19. It's a 3-point basketball game right now. It had been a 22-point Celtic lead. JoJo pops in, uses the Cowan screen. Boswell came up over the top of McGinnis. They ran it down in the corner over there. They called somebody out of bounds.
Ooh, what a game. The 76ers have shown us why they can hang in these games. They have such a potent offense, and here they are. For some reason, they've gotten that intensity back coming into this fourth quarter. Lloyd Free has gotten them going. Doug Collins has played a great second half for the 76ers, and now they have George McGinnis in there.
Inside and 2. It's Free, and great play by Collins, but a foul's been called, and Lloyd Free, credit him for coming into Collins, but the big redhead just jumped over there magnificently.
The secret on this play, Lloyd Free penetrates. Cowens commits himself. He realizes this, creates the contact, and that's a 2-shot foul. Fine play by Cowens.
Or should that be offense? He fouled the way he threw the shoulder at him.
Well, he did, but also Cowens came jumping out at him.
Well, I'll tell you, Free has got great body control. He hung in the air. He said, maybe I can get away with it. No way he could squeeze the trigger. He got the foul. He's at the line, and I'll tell you, it has switched completely with 3 Celtics out now with 6 fouls. Wicks, Rowe, and Scott. And suddenly it's 116-115. Boston desperately needing a timeout. They'll go over and try to regroup. The crown has been tilted ever so slightly in the Boston Garden.
Hey, Dr. J, where'd you get those moves? You move with such grace. Are you a member of the human race? Hey, Dr. J, where'd you get those moves? You're an artist, you're a wizard, and you blow up thin air. Everybody's wondering how'd you get there? Whoa. Hey, Dr. J, where'd you get those moves? Are you wearing magic shoes?
He's wearing Converse, the shoes of the stars.
You get to be the superstar in rent-a-car when you've got the kind of people who can get things ready, even before you get there. Hertz has more of them than anyone. People who know how to get their job done fast and who can put out that extra effort when things get busy.
Go, Hertz, go!
People who know the most important thing is getting each customer away fast into a reliable Ford or other fine car. Come to Hertz.
The superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
Now try and forget the 10th largest life insurance company in America, Lincoln National Life. We're easy to remember.
Basketball at its finest. What was once a 22-point lead is down to 1. 1:55 remaining. And the sellout crowd in the Boston Garden gave their beloved Celtics a standing ovation to urge them on. Backcourt pressure, and here we go. Collins against Havlicek.
It looks like they're going to set up a play for JoJo to get a jump shot at the top of the circle.
See if they can get it to work. You can see the shot clock becoming a factor. Saunders with a 4-1. Big hoop by Freddie Saunders.
Very big. And coming off the bench cold, that shows a lot of character on his part.
Down by 3. Off Collins' hands. Tries to save it. It'll go to the Celtics. A critical turnover. 117.
76ers in is standing around it, George. I think he should have just taken it on his own at that point.
3 dueling White. You can see the body collision, and White got free, and he was picked up. Off the collision. So the timeout is called. And if we are right, it would be the last timeout. You saw the collision. Was this a foul, Billy Cunningham?
It appears to look like Lloyd had good position there, and JoJo just bumped into him. Of course, he was acting a little bit on the play, but the official didn't call it in its history.
Saunders is credited with the assist, so give Freddie Saunders a big basket, and now watch the pass. Here's the play again. Free may have still been moving on that, Billy. Hard to pick up right there, but what I like is the basketball demonstrated afterwards. JoJo White said, let's go. He picked it up right away, and Saunders saw it.
But you play till the whistle is blown. Right now, the 76ers, if they do get back in this game right now, which they have plenty of time to do, they have no timeouts left. They have one thing left for them, Brent. They have a 20-second timeout, which could become very instrumental in the fact that if there is a play and they do want to set up a player can, well, make believe that he hurt his wrist or his knee or something and cause a timeout and be able to regroup a little bit and get some instructions from their coach.
Speaking of regrouping, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with that 2-game advantage over Rick Barry and the Golden State Warriors, also Portland, Denver. 59 seconds remain in the Boston Garden. 120-115.
LA hasn't won at Golden State this year, have they?
They have not.
That should be quite a battle.
Part of the home court advantage as the Celtics reel off 4 straight after the lead had been knocked down to 1. So the 76ers face a 5-point deficit and just less than a minute to work with. Boswell fronting McGinnis, and here's Free. Could be 3. Is. And not many seconds expired. Key play by Lloyd Free. Double team the ball. White spins Free. Sanders down. Collins on him, and here's Boswell. It's a 3-point Celtic lead now. There's the shot clock on the right, pressuring the ball. Now an advantage. White off. Collins in. 35 points. Turnover. Boswell slams into Free. Offense is the call. Tommy Boswell called for charging into Lloyd Free. Free may have injured his left wrist. He's still down.
There's that 20-second timeout. JoJo penetrating, dishing off to Collins for the big 2 points.
For Dave Collins, 16 of 24, 35 points, 21 rebounds. And his father and mother watching as you see the timeout situation. Jack and Ruth Collins on hand in the Boston Garden to see their son. And they have to be awfully proud of what they have seen. He has played the whole game, 36 seconds. And I also want to say that it has been a magnificent comeback by Philly, even if it comes up short. Free, missing that time. Havlicek, 29 seconds. Clock counting down. Collins to Saunders, he loses it, and it'll go to Philly with 21 seconds, 122-117. 5 points, 21 seconds. Free driving in. To Collins. Doug Collins today with 36 points. 14 of 18. Magnificent effort by Doug Collins. 14 seconds. Go to the ball. Collins went off McGinnis. Goes back to the Celtics. They're trying to get Heinsohn off the floor so he doesn't pick up a technical. He wanted a foul called. 9 seconds now. 9. Hold on. They want a clarification on the time.
Now, the point that Gene Shue was pointing out is that he feels they have 3 seconds to get the ball across half court. Of course, the 24-second clock is out, though. He feels they've used up 7 seconds.
The scoreboard says 122 to 121 up here.
We've got to get it up. Not in the back court. He pushed him out. Move away.
Now, that
can't be right.
Can't move away.
It's 119.
Listen over here.
The defensive player knocked the ball out of the basket with a head second to bring it up. Okay,
but they only have 3 seconds left in the back court.
Here's Gene Shue commenting. 3 seconds.
Okay.
Wait a minute. You get 10 seconds. It's easy, Zach. Get 10 seconds. Just leave it go. 10 seconds.
We did not knock it out. He threw the goddamn ball off my leg.
Wait a minute. It went out off of you. It went out off of you.
Call the foul on the man. Now, the play take that through it if you let go.
There's the play again off of George McGinnis, free battling to save it.
You're going to change the rule.
And that basket did not count, although the scoreboard put it up.
Now they've gotten it straightened away. 3-point lead for Philadelphia, 122-119.
And 9 seconds left in the game. But they're arguing 3 seconds to get it up. He said, throw the ball in and then go. That's what Crawford said. Double team Havlicek. Here's White. They've got to hurry. They run it down. They go to Collins. McGinnis.
Looked like Dave was going to go plunge for 1 yard. It appears that Gene Shue plans on protesting this game, feeling that the Celtics had 3 seconds to get that ball across half court.
And they made it at 6, which means, well, I tell you, it was just changing it with 3.5, 4. And if they go back and look at the tapes, they may have a pretty good argument on it.
We might have to come back and replay this last 7 seconds.
And what you have reported has been confirmed. Gene Shue has protested it. So now it's up to John Mucatola. 3. And it is over in the Garden, 124-119. The Boston Celtics defeat Philadelphia. And so now it's best 2 out of 3.
Sears National Automotive Values.
The Sears 48, a maintenance-free battery. A battery you never add water to is now on sale. The Sears 48, now only $29.99. You save $10.
Looking for a good low-price tire? Come to Sears. Get a Guardsman 4-ply from $16.50 to $26. Backed by Sears, so you know they're good tires. Guardsman. At Sears.
Coming next, the NBA doubleheader. The NBA on CBS is a presentation of CBS Sports. Brent Musburger saying so long for Billy Cunningham from the Boston Garden.
This is CBS.